Hello, my name's Kath Berry. I'm a parent of an 11-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, a divorcee, so I'm sort of co-parenting with them, and I run a small business here on the island of Ibiza off the coast of Spain. And I was very new to adopting technology in terms of just really understanding what AI has for us. I wrote a book, and I'm very pleased that the book was published before AI because now that I understand the capacity, it's incredible. And I've really loved AI coming along since, and I've used it a little bit like an updated Google search. And about a month ago, I watched an incredibly inspiring webinar with the Rotary Club of Ibiza, the Rotary Club of Ibiza, and was blown away. So I've now joined forces with the presenters of that webinar, and you're going to meet one of them today and hear about the other through the course of this video. So thanks for joining. And if you're a parent or take care of children in your world, or you're involved, either a teacher or guardian role, perhaps a grandparent, then this is for you. Anybody who has a child anywhere in their life or plans to, this is information that you need to know right now at the time of recording. And it's the 20th of March, 2025. So I'm going to hand over to Milton, who again was the inspiration for the information that we're bringing to you today.
Thank you very much, Kath. It's lovely to be here. Prefer sitting by your side, but we'll go with this. Thank you for qualifying there. We said about grandparents and such. Like, I'm not a parent, I'm an aunt, but it does mean that my nieces will come and spend time with me. They will want to be on their tablets, on their phones, etc., etc. So this is critically important if you're in any kind of guardianship role to young people, for sure. So we're looking at a 30-minute long webinar that is designed for the people in those guardian roles. Now, I'm going to reference parents a lot here because I am so conscious that parents are unbelievably time poor. So the idea is that this is a fast and effective and really efficient webinar where I show people in guardian roles to young people how to put up guardrails on artificial intelligence that their children are indubitably at some point going to start using. And I think it hasn't crossed a lot of parents or guardians' minds that, wow, maybe I should be considering guardrails and helping my child interact with artificial intelligence in a really safe and positive, life-affirming manner that enhances critical thinking as well, if that's, I would suspect, something you would want for your child. So yeah, it's a 30-minute webinar. If we're very lucky, we'll fit in 15-minute Q&A at the end. I think it's really important to qualify. There's no charge for this. It's free. I really want people to know how to utilize artificial intelligence safely and confidently, no matter what their age range is.
Thank you, Milton. And I think it's really important as a parent just to note that any parent that thinks, well, my child's too young to be using my computer or typing into the internet, that this is a lot of what we're talking about is now voice activated. So if your child's been exposed to something like Siri, Google, where they're used to actually interacting with the idea of an inanimate creature that does things like put music on, then your child is at risk. And one of the things that's really important, like with any new technology, new tool, there are incredible benefits of these technologies. Incredible for parents in terms of school projects, drilling down on information, being able to switch languages, being able to slow a language down if you want to teach your child a second language and have it done clearly. Imagine every combination of technologies you already interact with, but all in one place that can then be voice activated like a human conversation. So just wondering, Milton, if you could explain a little bit about large language models and how they work as to why they are so effective. This is not Google with words. This is not Siri. Why is AI, or what's an LLM for a parent out there who's new to this?
Okay, so that's a very, very good question. An LLM is a large language model, and if you actually hear those words, large language model, it is trained on data from the internet, largely, and other sources. And what it does is predictive text. If you type something in, it will predict by that pattern what its response shall be. But what it doesn't do is predict the age range of the person that's putting in that query or that question. So the large language model, artificial intelligence, will typically come out with the best answer that it possibly can do. And that's where you need those guardrails in place. For the sake of brevity today, I won't give you any examples, but you can be absolutely sure that if a parent or a guardian is watching over a child's shoulder and watches a child put in a question, some of those responses that come back are just really, really not appropriate for that age range. And to qualify, by the way, whilst I'm not a parent, because I do work professionally in this field with artificial intelligence or specifically large language models, we're looking here at if your child is between sort of 8 and 15, 16, you really need to take time out to watch this webinar. And I'd like to qualify as well that after the webinar, you will actually be sent a recording of it. You'll also be sent some literature, again, going back to adults being extremely time poor. The idea is that once you've understood what you need to do, and it's not frightening, there's no coding, there's none of that. What you need to do is open up that particular chat model and copy and paste in what I'll be sending you. It will make perfect sense to you. It is in clear English. You adjust it to your child's age range, etc. Paste it in at the right place and walk away with confidence that should be up here. And it's only going to need checking on you by maybe once a month. I'd say that's pretty extreme, to be quite honest. You could probably go 2 months, 3 months without having to check that it hasn't corrupted, that it's safe. And yeah, job is done.
Excellent. So, Milton, you've just hit on two things for me there. The first is that this is not asking you to put up AI in your house. This is around sort of how you'd install it in a safe way, and then you can forget about it. So that installation process to keep your kids safe so that you don't have to monitor and check and observe and keep an eye on what they're doing. So that's the first one, that this is a very much establishing a safeguard from the very beginning. The second part of that is, Milton also referencing the fact these technologies are changing all the time. So while you're watching your child interact with the AI, it might be safe, but it's very easy that could change at any given moment. So therefore, these safeguards are really important. But the final thing, Milton, I just love, I've introduced myself as a parent and someone who enjoys technology. Could you tell us a little bit about your AI experience and why you are the best person to be sitting here presenting this webinar to parents?
Yes, with the greatest of pleasure. I actually work within the field of artificial intelligence. It's quite niche. I work within the field of large language models and the AI of that. So these will be, to make that familiar to you, will be things like OpenAI's ChatGPT, Claude by Anthropic, Perplexity AI, goodness, Gemini, etc., etc. Hands up, I do try and steer clear of Copilot by Microsoft, but that's personal. But you'll see, I'm not going to pull my punches on anything at any point in time. But I work professionally in this field, and what has happened through the course of doing that is I'm always meeting individuals, and those individuals are people with their own personal lives, with children, with responsibilities, and indubitably behind the scenes, I am being approached by people who are expressing fear and curiosity. And I suddenly realized that nobody's really answering to that. Sure, you can go to YouTube, and you really can go to YouTube and you can search around and hopefully find somebody that teaches in such a manner that it resonates with you and helps you through. And that's well and good. And that's a really, really good option, but it's not the best option. So just sitting down with me for 30 minutes, having me lay everything out for you precisely in this particular facet of artificial intelligence integration, which is within your own household, let's get it done and move on from there.
So you can see that Milton is incredibly experienced at working with Fortune 500 companies setting their AI systems up. But I'm a parent and I only use ChatGPT. I'm only very recently using ChatGPT's audio function. So you don't have to be high level tech. And I'm certainly always embarrassing myself in front of Milton at how little I know. But the most important thing from a parent's perspective is we're often fearful of something we don't know. And I think the easiest way is, if you're concerned about AI, then it's like, this is the course to you. Watch this webinar, because we're going to allay some of those fears and set things up in a proper way. The second to that is ignorance. And often we're fearful of something we're ignorant about. So AI is not going to go away. And one of the things that I am looking at doing is trying to teach my kids how to be polite to AI, how to interact with AI.
Can I interrupt you on that point? The second part of the webinar will actually be, it's not just setting up the guardrails to make sure that the AI responds appropriately based on your child's age and learning capabilities at that point in time. And but you can do other things like have AI guide according to your own parameters. Guide your child in things like good manners, perhaps in critical thinking, etc., etc. That will be included, believe it or not, in this 30-minute webinar for parents.
And what I love about that as a parent is every family will have their own spiritual beliefs, their religious affinities. So, what that means is that you can set AI to be in accordance with your own values. And I think values, religion, spiritual beliefs, I think that's also really important to say that that's how specific we're going to be, is making sure that AI serves your family and that it suits you and your child's needs. So it's really, we're really, as you can see, passionate about this, that we are also very playful and love this technology and want you to embrace that. But it's about understanding it and getting the most out of it.
Superb. I couldn't agree with you more. You've absolutely nailed it there. So I really, really look forward to helping parents. I love to teach. I love to share the good stuff. And there is so much good in AI if you know what you're doing with it. And you know what? To learn what to do with it isn't difficult. The barrier to entry is unbelievably low. So I'm really looking forward to this.
So during the webinar, please leave your name and best email address and be sure to subscribe to our email list. Otherwise, you won't receive the link to the live webinar or the recording or those resources which Milton mentioned will be sent to you afterwards. We'd also love you, if you've just got 5 minutes, to fill in a brief questionnaire for us. Let us know what you'd like us to cover in the course, and we can certainly do our very best to do that. It's not mandatory, but we'll make that available so that you can leave any messages for us, and we can certainly tailor the information to you and your family's needs. So please take a moment now to enter your name, best email address, and subscribe to our email list. We look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Bye for now.
Bye.